Hi, how are you doing? Hope everything is going well with you. So for today's videos, I will talk about my subject to dismissal at UCLA. So I graduated at UCLA in 2013. So I got placed in subject to dismissal in my junior year, I believe. Yeah, at junior year. So that would assume around like 2010, 2011. So what happened was, here's a quick backstory. So I was doing well with high school. I was salutatorian in my high school, meaning I was second place, straight A student. When I got to UCLA, I was doing kind of okay. My major was, I entered UCLA as a biochem major. So my grade was kind of fluctuating between, I would say in a mid 3.0. So around my GPA for the first 2 years was around like 3.1, 3.2 because of biochem. Some of the biochem classes are very hard, especially with the OChem and stuff like that. But around junior year, that's when everything kind of like changed. So I think it's what fall. Yeah, it was fall. So at junior year, this specific quarter, I got really distracted. I have a lot of personal and family issue, and my health started getting decline. This is when I discovered I have IBS. So especially with school, the stress level was very high, and my just health got worse. So at this stage, I got kind of depressed. So it's hard to talk about this because looking back now, I don't know why I put myself in that situation, because I always will go to class. At least I did decent. I tried my best to get aim for at least a B in the class. So I did my homework, do all my take-home assignment, did decent on the midterm and final. But for some reason, that quarter, I just got in a bad situation where my mood was down, my health was down. I have so much on my mind, so I was so distracted with everything that eventually I got into a depressed mode where I literally didn't get out of my bed for the whole week. It was so bad. But yeah, so I was technically in a funk, very depressed, to a point where I didn't go to my final. And you know, if you're in college right now, you know how important final is. It's literally 50% your grade. So I literally did not go to my final. So my GPA for that quarter was like 1 point something. Yeah, I think 1.1 or 1.2, because I literally got D and Fs because I didn't go to my final. I didn't take it. The smart thing for people to do during that situation is say, oh, I didn't go to my final, I should drop the class. But I didn't even care, because I was so, honestly, looking back now, I don't know why I did that, because I was so like distracted with everything. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be in my bed all night, all day, just, I don't want to do anything. So I didn't take my final, I didn't drop my class, I didn't talk to my counselor. I just, you know what, I just got an F, just get an F. And next thing you know, my 3.1 or 2 took a big hit. And that quarter, I got like 1.1. And then I found out I got put on subject to dismissal. So let's talk about subject to dismissal, shall we? So before I start talking about subject to dismissal, I want to clear it out. So I don't know about other school, but for UCLA, right? Academic probation versus subject to dismissal are totally different thing. So for academic probation, right, if your GPA drop overall in either quarter or cumulative to between like below 2.0, you put on on academic probation. Now, for academic probation, you have more leeway. So you can work with your counselor and try to get back on track. But for subject to dismissal, it's totally different story, because you just need 1 quarter to be dropped below 1.5 GPA, then you are technically get subject to dismissal next quarter. So when I received that letter that say, hey, your GPA dropped below 1.5, you are subject to dismissal next quarter, I was freaking out, and I was like, what did I put myself into? So I just got my ass to talk to my counselor. So I had to get myself to talk to my counselor, explain my situation. If you know UCLA, there's a therapist center. It's called ASH. Pretty much you go there, talk about, I think you have like 3 to 5 free sessions if you're a student there. So I used it like that. I went to therapy, talk about my problem, try my best to resolve the situation. So in order to get back on track, if you're academic dismissal, if you are subject to dismissal. So if your quarter GPA drop below 1.5, you are put on subject dismissal for the next quarter. In order to get back on track, you have to talk to your counselor. And then during that time, right, my counselor told me, hey, so you talk to me, you had to write a letter to pretty much you had to write a letter to beg and give a reason why you could stay. Pretty much you had to give a reason why you want to stay at UCLA and how you can do better. So pretty much I went and wrote a letter to the Board of Administration and Academic, explaining my situation. I was depressed, I had health problem. I also went to ASH Center, which is a therapy center for the student, and have a few therapy sessions to improve myself and my self-esteem and everything. And also work out a schedule with my counselor, explain, hey, so here's the situation. My GPA is still, I think my GPA was still like, because originally I was like 3.2 or 3.1. That quarter I dropped down to like 2 point something. It's a high 2.0. So I think 2.8 or 2.7. I don't know exactly. I need to check that. But because of that, because of one quarter, I got like 1.1, 1.2. I was below 1.5 requirement. So therefore, I had to work with my counselor, explain my situation, and came up with 3/4 that I have to pass above 2.0. So pretty much the situation is this: my counselor say, hey, in order to stay on campus and continue with your study, you need to get above 2.0. So therefore, for next 3 quarters, you need to get above 2.0 for next 3 quarters. So for my next 3 quarters, I have to stay above 2.0, which is honestly, for most people, I think, oh, it's easy to take easy class, or just like instead of taking 4 or 5, just take 3 classes, maintain the minimum requirement for your unit, and just do at least get a C on all of them, and you'll be fine. I think the problem is this, that when you are in the depressed stage, especially when I was back then, sure, like saying it is easy, but actually doing it is hard, because how can I say this? You're mentally, you're not really there. I was cruising by, like I try my best to get like 2.0, because I think most people, when you go to UCLA, they want to get like straight A, 4.0, or at least like high 3.8 or 3.9. But for me, I was just like, you know what? I just need to get through this. I just need to get above 2.0. I mean, I did. I get like 2 point something, because I try to get like C and a B minus. Very much I'm shooting for at least a B minus or C plus. Very much all my classes are either C, C plus, or B minus. I mean, yes, I got myself out of subject to dismissal, but it didn't really do much for me for like academically, because I was still in a rut. And eventually, after a while, I decided to switch my major, because biochem, initially, the reason why I chose biochem as my major was because I didn't know what I want to do. I know I want to do something in healthcare and something in science. So I decided, you know what, let's pick biochem, because biochem has everything. And then from there, I could just I could switch major later and then go specific with the major. So I decided to switch over to bioanthropology. Very much it's half science and half humanity, which I actually like. And I actually learned a lot more with bioanthropology. It's still a Bachelor of Science degree, and it's just focused a little bit more on like humanity aspect, like socially, linguistic, cultural, and more on the more focus on the science of the anthropology aspect. Okay, so honestly, if you're in a situation where you don't know what's going on with your life, or you don't have anything stuck together, you don't have your life together, you're in depressed. Okay, honestly, I don't know what your situation is right now, but if thing is really bad, I do recommend take some time off of school before you come back. That's an option too. Now you can talk to your counselor and say, hey, like, thing is not going well for me right now. I have family issue, I have health issue. Can I take like a quarter or two off before I come back? They could work out a deal for you, because you don't want to go to your counselor and work out a deal and say, hey, I will get my GPA above 2.0 for next 3 quarters, and they are okay with that, and then next thing you know, you end up getting another like below 1.5, or you get below 2.0 for next 3 quarters. Because here's the situation. For subject to dismissal, if you get below 1.5 any quarter, you get put on subject to dismissal. And then you have 3 quarters to make it up, and you are on probation for that 3 quarters. So let's say you have, for me, right, I get subject to dismissal because of 4 quarters. So for winter and for spring and for next fall, for those 3, I need to have 2.0 and above. Now, the problem is, let's say for winter and spring, I got above 2.0, but for next fall, I got below 2.0. I will be dismissed from school. So therefore, my recommendation is this. If you think you could do maintain 2.0 and above for next 3 quarters, do it. But if you think you have a lot of problems right now that you have, either healthcare, family, or personal problem, it's okay to take time off of school. I do recommend it. If there are therapies offered at your school, take advantage of that. Talk to your counselor. Is there any way you could switch major, or is there any way you could do better in your classes? Counselor is there to help you, honestly, so take advantage of that. So yeah, hopefully, seriously, honestly, like, it's a hard situation because it's been few years I got put on subject dismissal. Eventually, I got back on track. I was able to graduate with my Bachelor of Science degree for bioanthropology after I switched my major. But I don't know you specifically, so the best case scenario is you go talk to your counselor. If you have a mentor, go talk to them, because they will figure out a best way for you to do well, because for the school, they want to have a high graduation rate. So it's okay to take some time off to improve yourself, take care of your situation before you come back to school. I think during that time, I was scared of not graduating on time, and that's why I pushed myself to maintain my above 2.0 GPA. But honestly, if I do take some time off and come back, I would get a way better GPA than what I have during my 4 year at UCLA. So I really wish you the best of luck. Comment down below if you have any questions, so I will make more videos based at an answer to your question. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what the best way to help you besides share my experience. So just comment down below. So just comment down below, give me your question. I will try my best to answer them as much as possible. If anything, I will make more videos about this topic. But yeah, hope you have a nice day. Best of luck. Stay strong. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. And love yourself. Bye.